something else. Once you make up your mind from indecision of playing with this stuff in your head, and you say, that's it, I'm not going back to that, I'm going to this step, you do that. Okay, I already made that step up, that mind up. I've already dropped my sisters. Okay, I've dropped them.
Yeah.
Dropped the guy next door, the crazy guy, the little fizzle fuck that annoys everything on this planet. I dropped him. Phyllis said, if you could get away with it, you'd kill him. I go, probably. She goes, I know you would.
That's a Scorpio talking.
Uh-huh. I said, probably.
And, you know, there is this, the risk inherent in life. Will you eat me or will I eat you?
You can see it every day.
You go out into the hunt, and people, you know, this is why I'm not surprised so many people go into social services. They're trying to protect themselves from that hunt. Well, I've got a job, I've got this, you know, good enough for government work, you know, and they never really develop that risk. It needs to be developed. That's why I think that gambling helps develop our risk taking.
The best gamblers in the world that I've studied only win 3 through 12,000 a week, okay? And they tell you, if you want to win more than this, you're not a good gambler. You're crazy. You're not in tune. You don't understand what you're doing. This is how it works. And you're going to walk, and you're going to exercise, and you're going to be nice to your neighbor, and you're going to be balanced, and you're going to do this and that. And you're going to learn this system, and you're not going to be hotty, schmotty, or potty. You're going to pay back. You're going to eat there at their restaurant. You're going to be nice to everybody, and you're going to move around. The minute you start winning, you go online around the world with one photo from the top, and it goes right over to the satellite, and everybody sees you, and you are already finished. And he said, that's not gambling anyhow. That's egotistical maniac bullshit. He said, you make a good living at gambling at 3 to 12,000 a week. You invest it the same way you gamble, and guess what? You got a pretty well basic, open, balanced brain. These are the good ones. They're very
well. It's the same thing with business and your relationships and you know all that stuff. You know, profit and loss. You know, does it profit us or does it? This is the thing about the workers' comp system. You know, those insurance company attorneys are there to beat me, to win, to keep their insurance company from being responsible to the letter of the law.
That's right. So
they use the law to try to get out of being responsible. They don't use the law to try to be responsible.
No.
And that's what I'm going up against, is that I, as an individual, can only go so far, and as a self-responsible person, I'm not going to let myself go past that. And you know, I don't want to contaminate and defile myself in a system that asks me to do so. I will retreat from it and say, you know what, you people can go play amongst yourselves.
Absolutely. Once I made my decision, my brain has opened up 1 trillion times as much as it was before.
And what disgusts me is that the judge is there to keep that from happening. The judge is there to keep from me feeling as though this whole system is screwed up.
That's right.
And they don't. They don't stop that from happening. You know, I go and I tell them, and they think all kinds of things. Oh, you're uneducated. You just don't know. You don't.
You got a grudge.
You got a grudge. You're bad. They categorize you. They stereotype you. You know, they don't take the case for what it is. You know, I have hope that, you know, this judge, you know, he said, Damon, I really like you. You know, great. You like me. What are you going to do? You know, that's what I was thinking.
I'm going to eat my sandwich at lunchtime vigorously.
Yeah, and collect my retirement.
I like you, Damon. Okay.
You know, I'm not going to do anything that would threaten me.
That's right.
Oh, no, you know. And I've faced death so many times and been crippled so many times. I don't have the tolerance for people who aren't going to risk it all.
Damon, I went out on a limb for Bob.
You did.
I stupidly went out on
You went out on a limb for me. You went out on a limb for everybody you helped. And what's really sad is that your daughters don't realize, you know, God bless. You know, I wouldn't wish it on my best friend that they may understand. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy out of bitter-hearted revenge.
Right.
The thing is we don't want our kids to know the true dark times. But when we go through them and then our kids say, oh, you're just a piece of dirt or whatever,
Right.
and you know that they're saying that because
Nothing else.
because they don't have any experience to base it on.
That's right.
They haven't been through the dark times. And this is the benefit of the doubt I give to the judge. The judge doesn't, maybe the judge sees that things could be really worse. And I think to myself, I turn back onto my self-responsibility. I say, well, you know, I can walk today, and I do have a house over my head, you know, a roof over my head, and I do have this, you know, and then here I am back into, oh, well, I'll just do without. And I look at these attorneys and these insurance companies that say, ha ha ha, you do without and I get your share. You know, and I'm just disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted. And I feel that it's the judge's responsibility to have the wherewithal enough to recognize that and say, no, Damon, you're going to get your share at their expense for once. You're going to have what the letter of the law says you're supposed to have, you know. But the way he comes across is, oh, well, you didn't ask just so. You didn't use these words and those words and the other words. And I tell him, if I had the time to learn all your legalese, then I could go get a job for somebody. As a lawyer, exactly. Yeah, I'd be employable, wouldn't I?
You're telling me I should have been a lawyer and then I wouldn't be.
But I spend too much time doing my physical therapy every day just to keep myself walking. Blah, 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 blah. Catch 22 one more time. And ultimately it comes back down to charisma and your wits, you know. Can you convince somebody of your side and, you know, play the game and all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm sick of the game, you know. Do you know what you asked me to do to play your game?
Can you shoot par without cheating?
Refill?
No, I'm pretty wired, thank you very much. Whee! No, I'm going to have a powwow with Phyllis. Phyllis, there's some things I watch out for her. She's very dangerous. But the things that work, I use them. And she's pretty sharp on that shit. She don't like Bob's brother. She don't like Bob's brother's wife. She don't like Bob. She don't like Mark.
Well, you also got to take into account, Dave, that she's sort of befriended you, and she's going to agree with you in some things. And it's whether she likes them or doesn't like them, it's about making good decisions for Dave.
I agree with her.
Yeah, but like or dislike has... See, I understand because you're a caregiver that you give until you're injured. And I understand that a lot of people, in order to get out of that, condemn the people they're helping as evil and bad so that they can write them off. And I know that you have a good heart in your... but I know you have a good heart in you. But wasting the time and energy to get caught up in speaking badly about somebody and trying to bolster ourselves in our, you know, the key is practical plans. What are the practical plans?
Didn't help me take care of him. I gave my life up for him for 3 years. All of my ideas and plans went down the toilet for Bob. Okay? And he just poo-pooed them and sat there and went, I don't want that. I don't like that. And wrote hate mail.
Well, see, you were depending on him to bolster you instead of depending on yourself.
Meet me halfway.
Well, the thing is that I think...
I thought we were going to put our minds together and do something.
Well...
I've had the training, son.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Penny comes down, I said, Penny's coming down. You're going to have to leave for about 5 days. He hadn't moved in with me. He had his rent down there.
This is exactly how I feel really challenged by Bob. You know, Bob wants to know, what are your plans? What are you going to do with your life and stuff? And this is the thing. I have a difficulty engaging in the system because the system has failed so miserably. I don't trust it.
It doesn't like losers like
so
winners.
I don't want to participate.
This is what Napoleon Hill says. Show signs of poverty. system already knows your poverty, and they'll take everything you have. That's what Napoleon Hill said. I showed signs to Robin and Gary. They came in faster and devoured me.